In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make stipples with Illustrator. Nothing like trying to make a hand-drawn look using a computer tool. So let's go check it out. Here we go. All right, the stipples in Illustrator are super versatile, highly adjustable. With one caveat is that they might take up a little bit of resources on your computer. Not too many, I hope. So we're going to start off by opening up a blank document. We'll go to the View menu and we'll show the grid, and the View menu and Snap to Grid. And I just like to use this grid just so I can kind of line things up, but it's really not that important. I'm going to start off by taking the line segment tool, and I'm going to draw a 4-inch line. Zoom in on that. And the next thing I want to do is open up my stroke panel. If it's not visible, go to the window menu and show the stroke panel. And it's also important to reveal all the options. We're going to make this a dotted line. So we're going to leave the weight at 1. We'll make it a round capped stroke. We're going to make this a dashed line. The dashes are going to be set to 0 and the gaps are going to be set to 2. And that way you can get a really kind of clean, evenly spaced dotted line here. The next thing to do is take this and copy it down about 4 inches. So I'm going to just move it down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll select both lines. I'll go to the Effect menu, Distort and Transform, and Roughen. And what I want to do in here is I don't want the roughen to be enormous. I only want it to be really small. So let's try 1%, or even like say let's 0.5%. I'm going to make this absolute, so it's going to be relative to, or it's going to be to the size of the page is the distortion, not to the size of the objects. The detail, I want to crank that all the way up. So about 100, 98, 100. And I want the points to be smooth or cornered. It really doesn't matter in the end. I'm going to leave it at corner. All right, so you can see you have a roughened dotted line at the top and a roughened dotted line at the bottom. Now I'm going to select both, go to the Object menu, Blend, and let's change our blend options first. We're going to make the specified steps 150, but again, this is all customizable, so we can come back and change these after the fact. So I'm going to leave this at 150, and then Object menu, Blend, and make the blend. And like I said, it might take up some resources, but now you have this cool stipple pattern. Now, if you're finding that you don't like the spacing of this, you can select the blend, right? Because you have the distort transformation already applied to it, you can go to the window menu and then to appearances. And with your white arrow, you can select on either of these blend paths, and you can click on roughen because it's already applied there, and you can say, well, I want the size to be maybe a little bit smaller, 0.2, right? I just want that adjustment to be subtle. Maybe that's too subtle. Maybe I want it to be like 1. Let's see what happens, right? So making that adjustment, again, that's just taking up some resources. And I can also, if I want, I can make this, the weight of this a little bit smaller. If I want this to be 0.75, for instance, or 0.5, I can make that smaller. So that means, so what I'm doing right now is I'm adjusting either side. So this top one is 0.5 and this bottom one is 1, but if I can change that to 0.5 as well, and now I get this stipple pattern. Again, it's kind of taking up some resources, but now you have this really cool pattern that you can work with. Again, this one also has a different roughen applied to it. So if I want that to be 1 as well, I can do that. Just have to wait a moment. All right, so that's a cool pattern. Now you might be saying to yourself, well, what the heck am I supposed to do with this? You can use it for shadows. You can use it for textures. If you have the computer to kind of handle the resources. I just want to show you a cool thing that we can do with this using type. So I'm going to take my type tool, type out my name, use a fairly kind of chunkier typeface, go down to my type menu to character, Command or Control T. We'll do that. Use Interstate Ultra Black. I'll make this fairly large, maybe 72 points. All right, so what I can do is I can use this as a clipping path to put text inside of it. So if let's say I wanted a shadow of my name done in Stipples, I could do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of this. In my Pathfinder panel, it's not visible, go to the Window menu and Pathfinder. And with the type selected, I'm going to go to the Pathfinder menu and I'm going to make that a compound shape. Even though it's still text, it can still function as a compound path. And I can apply this texture to the inside of it. I'm going to move this to the front, Object Arrange, bring to front if it's not already there. And now I can select both the text and my stipple texture. And I can go to the Object menu, Clipping Mask, and Make. And now I have that stipple texture inside of here, and on top of everything else, it is live text. So if I wanted this to be like Nick the Punk Fish, I could do that. So I'll make this NTPF, and then what I can do is make that the shadow, a stippled shadow. I think I have Snap to Grid still turned on. I can make this a stippled shadow of my text. I think that was in front. Object Arrange, send that to the back. All right, so that's it for making stipples in Illustrator. You can have lots of fun with this. Just be aware it might tax some resources on your computer. So that's it.